girl, you're so fine, I can't get you off my mind. Ooh girl, nah nah. Ooh girl, nah nah. Baby girl, don't need to flex. Dance to the rhythm and you do all the rest. Ooh girl, nah nah. Ooh girl, nah nah. Sign me up with dreams, the only thing I need. When I'm down, lift me up with your company. There's no telling what you want me creating. We're on the same wavelength. Feel the beat tonight, something good inside. Set you free, let you lose all track of time. Come on, have a conversation. Don't treat me like a stranger. You give me motivation, make my life vacation. When we are together, I surrender. Give you all my money, make you look so lovely. Never feeling lonely. Baby girl, you're so fine, I can't get you off my mind. Ooh girl, nah nah. Ooh girl, nah nah. Baby girl, don't need to flex. Dance to the rhythm and you do all the rest. Ooh girl, nah nah. Ooh girl, nah nah. You're my island, tray of diamonds. Big what's fake, help me find you. You're a blessing, reminiscent of the time when I found myself guessing. Feel the beat tonight, something good inside. Set you free, let you lose all track of time. Come on, have a conversation. Don't treat me like a stranger. You give me motivation, make my life vacation. When we are together, I surrender. Give you all my money, make you look so lovely. Never feeling lonely. Baby girl, you're so fine, I can't get you off my mind. Ooh girl, nah nah. Ooh girl, nah nah. Baby girl, don't need to flex. Dance to the rhythm and you do all the rest. Ooh girl, nah nah. Ooh girl, nah nah.
Wow, look at them, Mum. Chicken coronation! Get your tits out for Charles!
Hello, everyone. How's everyone today? Hope everyone's good. Welcome to the Thursday podcast. Please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Charles, you are free to watch as well, but just stay silent in the chat, please, or else one of my lovely moderators will troll spray you out of here. Can I also just encourage everyone, if you are not following me on Instagram, but you are on Instagram, can you go and follow the Duchess of Success official page, please? We are almost at 40,000 followers on the gram. I've noticed that people like to digest content in different ways. So not everybody likes the long form platform of, sitting down and watching a YouTube channel. So they would prefer to just get all their news very quickly on Instagram. So if you are on Instagram and maybe on some days you just can't sit down to watch the whole podcast, please do go and follow your girl on. Oh, sorry. A bit of echo there. Please do go and follow your girl on Instagram, okay? Couple of stories to go through today. Nothing like groundbreaking, more like small gasp. Ooh, that's interesting, as opposed to whoa, that is just scandalous, coming out of the day 2 court case. But nonetheless, more proof that there was illegal information gathering from the Mirror, and that Piers Morgan most definitely knew that hacking was going on. So just give me a sec to get my bearings, folks. And Right, yeah, let's get to it, shall we? Piers Morgan, you about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. One day, I hope this is what we get to see. Piers Morgan behind bars, or at least filing for bankruptcy, because I find it so strange that all of this is coming out now, but he was not charged with anything during the initial Leveson inquiry. I'm actually going to go back at some point in the next few weeks and start looking at videos from the Leveson inquiry, reading through texts about it, because it's becoming more and more obvious that there were people who should have really been given much heavier punishments. I just got a slap on the wrist. And if there is so much evidence out there that Piers Morgan knew of illegal information gathering, why was he not charged then? And this is why I'm telling you, this whole situation with phone hacking is more than just about drama with the royal family. There were over 2,000 people that were hacked. People, organizations, public figures. And then the follow-up inquiry, Leveson 2, which I believe was meant to look into uh, ill behavior between the press and the police. I think that's what Leveson 2 was meant to be about. That got cancelled by the Tory government, specifically Matt Hancock, who was culture secretary at the time. So I think that there are a lot of people who have things to hide, who did not want to see Piers Morgan, Rebecca Brooks, Murdoch get put away because they know too many secrets. And all three of them were very close and still are very close to people in government. I have an interesting article to read out about Rupert Murdoch that just came out today, actually. Absolutely scandalous. So I think by the time this whole circus is finished, I think we're going to see a lot more things come out than just drama between the members of the royal family. This is all, I think, so much bigger than that. Mad World Piers probably have information on government officials. I think so. I think so. And I mean, there's rumors, allegedly, for the lawyers listening, that Rebecca Brooks was a little bit too cozy with a certain prime minister. I won't say the name for the lawyers listening, but if you've seen pictures of Rebecca Brooks, or if you go back to my video that I did of Rebecca Brooks, and you'll know who I'm talking about. Okay, on to the first thing. So the papers were generally quite silent about the apology that the Mirror gave to Harry yesterday. I saw a couple put very small paragraphs on their front pages, but generally very silent. And on the morning talk shows as well, very, very silent. And I guess I'm surprised, but not surprised, because a lot of the big news networks, ITV, BBC, Sky News, they all did breaking news. Harry has given an apology over phone hacking. But the morning talk shows were very silent about it, and were very silent about Piers Morgan as well. So Piers Morgan definitely still pulls some strings, I think, at these morning talk shows. And he was obviously on, ITV. He's been on GB News, and he's on Talk TV as well. So I think they're going to be very careful about talking about him, for now at least. But the Independent put it front and center in big, bold writing. And I was quite surprised to see this, because the editor of the Independent is a guy named Geordie Gregg. And he is a former Daily Mail boss who's also friends with Camilla. And the Independent is part owned by this gentleman over here. His first name I can't remember, but I think his second name is Lebedev. He's quite a controversial figure. A foreign businessman who is also very close with Boris Johnson, supposedly bought his way into the House of Lords. But he is a part owner of The Independent, and he is also friends with William. They've been spotted together numerous times and worked on many projects together. So the question I have is, why would a paper whose owner or part owner is friends with William and whose editor is friends with Camilla put this front and center? Is the invisible contract breaking, or is the Independent invested in a very underhanded way supporting this trial because it means that their competitors will go down? I just thought it was very interesting that they were the only paper that put it front and center, considering their links. Also, tragedy. Oh gosh, no, not yet on the tragedy. We'll get to the tragedy. Briefing. We have briefing to the Daily Beast and other papers. This one came out today. King Charles and Prince William want distance from Harry and Meghan. I don't think Harry and Meghan have any issue with Charles and William wanting distance. I mean, there are over 5,000 miles of distance between the UK and the US. So how much more distance do you want? And then William apparently unable to walk. Oh, what was he doing? What was he doing so damn hard that he is unable to walk? Should we ask Rose? Right, let's go to comments. If you're just coming in, please do hit that thumbs up button. FYI, guys and dolls, Instagram has this interesting feature where you can see verified accounts that are following you. And there are some interesting people following the Duchess of Success Instagram account, including one woman who I won't say her name or the country, but she is the former mayor of a major city of a country, following the Duchess of Success Instagram account. I have no idea why. Apparently, she's very interested in the royals, but I saw that and I was like, wow, that's interesting. Anglo, so it's a video that clearly shows Piers Morgan knows about the codes for phone hacking. Yes, that's the one that he's talking to Charlotte Church, and I actually uploaded that. If you go to Shorts, I'm uploading on Shorts a lot now. So go and check that out. Andrea, turned on my TV looking for discussion on all the revelations about yesterday's court hearing. Crickets. Tuned into the morning talk shows. Not even Lorraine had anything to say. Yeah. They're all being very, very quiet. Because you've got to remember that, actually, this is something that I just thought about. The royal reporters go on these shows, and some of those royal reporters are also implicated in some of this illegal information gathering, including Katie Nicholl, Dan Wooten, and I'm sure others as well. So they all know that they're going to be implicated, and they don't want to draw too much attention to the fact that they've been involved also. Because right now, most people are just focused on Piers Morgan. And the focus, once we've taken care of him, the focus is going to shift to them. So they're being very careful. Yeah, Harry and Meghan put distance between William and Charles in 2020. Like how much more distance do you want? Okay, so these pictures of Meghan that were taken of her hiking, they were taken by a individual called Clint Brewer. Now, Meghan Kelly, former Fox host and now failed online screaming troll, did a video where she said that Meghan staged the photos. Now, the photographer that actually took the photos, in his stories, reposted this and said, "I wish the photos were staged, would make my job easier." So obviously just fishing for clicks. Highly pathetic. Legs are unable to walk. Has Voldemort been helping himself to some pulled pork sandwiches? Did, he gave Jason Knopf an award yesterday. Yeah, he was able to walk and give that snake a chocolate trinket. Absolute nonsense. Thank you for the super sticker. All right, next thing. Let's get through it. This. Yeah, this happened today. So there is a woman, an 80-year-old woman, bless her, who is fighting for her life after being hit by a royal motorcade escorting the Duchess of Edinburgh, aka Ford Fiesta, aka Sophie. I have absolutely no idea why this woman needs a police escort. She's a minor royal that absolutely nobody pays attention to. Why does she need a police escort? Now, I have been along the road when motorcades go past. Had the absolute pleasure for 2.5 seconds of seeing Liz Truss's motorcade. And as her motorcade went by, I am so convinced that her soul reached out and grabbed mine and took it with her, because there was just this sense of darkness the second her motorcade went past me. But to the point, when these motorcades are going around, they are very, very fast a lot of the time. And when I saw Liz Truss's motorcade, I went down the mall. You know where the balcony of life is, right? There's that walkway that goes down. So I had gone down the walkway. This was the day when she went to meet Charles at Buckingham Palace. The day I went down there after the Queen died, and then I turned right, and then from nowhere I start hearing whistling. I start hearing yelling, and I turn around and I see maybe 2 motor cars and then maybe 3 Land Rovers, and it all just happened so quickly. Now, obviously, I was, on the pavement, but say I was crossing the road and I had my earphones on, or I was a very old lady, an 80-year-old lady whose, hearing wasn't great, you have literally seconds to get out of the way. So, very sorry to this lady. I hope she does recover. This is not the first time actually someone's been hit with a royal motorcade. It's happened before. And I think even Philip, didn't he run someone over? There was a whole incident with him. But Sophie, she has offered her thoughts and prayers. Hasn't offered anything else, but she has offered her thoughts and prayers. Now, what you should be offering is compensation. Compensation, which ultimately is going to come from our taxpayer money, I reckon. Oh. Madwell, did they stop to give her aid? That's a good question. That is a very good question. I'd like to know exactly what happened when she was hit. Did they carry on? Because from the sounds of it, if she's just like, "Oh, I send my thoughts and prayers," I have seen no pictures of her or any of the staff getting out to help this woman. So it seems to me like either maybe like one of the motorcades maybe stopped to help, but Sophie and whoever she was in the car with, it seems like they just carried on. Jessica, here in DC, the roads are closed at least half an hour before the motorcade actually comes past. That's a good idea. Just keep people safe. Yeah, they need to compensate her. Okay, on to the next thing. Day 2 of the trials. So more evidence being presented by Harry's barrister, David Sherborne. And this implicates the Kent couple Sorry, folks, just give me a sec because I think one of my slides is missing. Give me one moment. Okay, so Prince Harry's barrister says one of the most seriously troubling features of this case is those at the highest level of MGN management were well aware of what was going on. The court hears Piers Morgan and MGM lawyers knew full well that Prince Michael of Kent's financial information was obtained unlawfully and that the criminal law had in fact been breached. Barrister is referring to a Daily Mirror front page story entitled Prince's Bank, which revealed Prince Michael of Kent and an unauthorized draft of over 200,000 and that he was in 2.5 million pounds worth of debt to his bank. MGM later agreed to publish an apology to Prince Michael and pay his legal costs. It's claimed Piers Morgan and lawyers knew private financial information had been unlawfully obtained by a private investigator and therefore had to settle, as they couldn't rely on or reveal source of information. Now, Princess Michael of Kent, this lady right here, she's the one who showed up to the family dinner with the Blackamoor brooch to meet Meghan. I'm telling you, these people are not as rich and wealthy as they put on. It's all a show. How is someone who is part of the royal family in that much debt? You would think that they would have wealth managers who can actually just grow their money for them in investment. That's what most wealthy people have. But for some reason, these people are always scampering for money. What is going on with their finances? We are giving them £100 million a year. Where is the money going? And they have their own private wealth. So what's going on with the private wealth? They don't seem to be distributing it amongst their family members. Mind you, not that these two people do anything that's actually worth giving them money for, but this is a wealthy family. And they present themselves like they are wealthy society folk. And I don't know so much about the husband, but the wife really has a pole up her bum. And the Meghan incident isn't the first time she's been called out for her BS. She reportedly had black salt shakers that she named Venus and Serena. It was reported that she had been in New York and there was I don't actually know what the race of the person was, but it was a person of color. And the person said that, she said, no, why are you here? It was basically being rude to the individual. So, not that I feel sorry for these two people at all, I really don't. But nonetheless, further evidence that there was illegal information gathering going on. What I don't know is whether this part of the evidence was brought forward by the Kents themselves, or this is just something that Harry's lawyers have included to just further prove the case that unlawful information gathering was going on. Rahini, Prince Michael of Kent was caught on his Zoom call trying to sell access to Russia for some businessmen. Well, this is what they have to reduce themselves to. And they walk around acting like they're better than you and me. Absolutely horrendous. Anna, I love it. Anna, like you just tell us how you really feel. The old bat, indeed. Maybe she should sell that Blackamoor brooch. I mean, it's famous now. Probably get a couple of thousand for it. Can buy some milk and eggs. Anne Lewis, what's about the papers obtaining Meghan's social security number? Yeah, this was the PI who was roaming around LA. I don't know if that is part of this case though. I think that's part of another case. Because I think there's like 3 or 4 different cases. Okay, so that was that. And they also gave further evidence in regards to illegal information gathering and the Beckhams. So they presented some evidence from that. The court heard examples of a 2005 article published in The People about David Beckham and his former nanny, Abby Gibson. It revealed David Beckham had left a series of abusive voicemail messages on her phone. It's claimed the story was gleaned by screwing, aka hacking, into the nanny's voicemails. Less than a month later, MGN paid David Beckham substantial damages because it knew it could not produce the evidence of tapped mobile phones in any litigation. Court heard an example. I think I repeated the slide by accident. But yeah, here is the article from September 2014 when they paid compensation to a string of celebrities over alleged phone hacking, including the Beckhams, and that's Victoria Beckham with said nanny. So, I mean, they were doing it to everyone. So I guess what Harry's lawyers are trying to do is just bring in lots and lots of different cases to just show more evidence of what they were doing. And there is just so much evidence that, again, I have to ask the question, why was Piers Morgan not charged back at the time? But we'll see what comes of this. Right, I'll go to your comments before I read an article which was put out by Bylines Investigates today. I thought that was quite interesting. Yeah, the Kents are a miserable couple. Absolutely horrible people. But they seemed very smiley when they saw Harry at the coronation. So was Anne. And the Queen was supporting her cousins. Well, apparently not enough. Because they were still fishing for money elsewhere. Yeah, Monica, they have to keep up appearances, and that's why they support the crown, so they can feel like they're better than us mere peasants. Yes. Indeed. Okay, so let's finish by reading this interesting article in Byline. Byline did some amazing work over there, especially with anything in regards to phone hacking. And this is an article that came out in Byline. No minutes recorded during government summits with right-wing media chiefs. So one of those media chiefs being Rupert Murdoch. So the government didn't record the minutes of several ministerial meetings with right-wing media editors and executives, including Rupert Murdoch, Byline Times can reveal. Minutes, by the way, if you don't know what they are just notes that are taken during a meeting. So on the 21st of December last year, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak held a meeting with several editors and executives at News UK, the parent company of The Sun, The Times, the Sunday Times, Talk Radio, and Talk TV. The participants were Rupert Murdoch, owner of News UK and its US parent company, News Corp, as well as News UK CEO Rebecca Brooks. The Times editor, Tony Gallagher, and the then Sunday Times editor, Emma Tucker, said the Sun editor, Victoria Newton. So Victoria Newton was the one who was seen with Charles just after the Queen died. So she's the Sun's editor. And the News Corp CEO, Robert Thompson. This is why I'm telling you, this case with Harry is just so groundbreaking. The fact that all of these people had a meeting last year, I know for sure they are communicating right now. Very scary stuff. Anyway, Byline submitted a Freedom of Information request asking for a copy of the agenda and the minutes that accompanied this meeting. It is commonplace for the government to record the minutes of external meetings such as this one, logged as it was in the Prime Minister's official register. There is a president of government departments periodically releasing redacted copies of these minutes after receiving a Freedom of Information request. However, Byline Times' request was denied on the grounds that there is no requirement for the government to record the minutes of meetings between ministers and the media as they are not structured or formal government meetings. What absolute BS. What absolute BS. So now you got to ask the question, what were they talking about? What on earth were they talking about? Because that is absolutely in the public's interest. Goes on to say, given the seniority of the participants, it seems tenuous to describe this meeting as informal. While there would be great public interest in learning what was said during the exchange. Yes, because Rupert Murdoch, Rebecca Brooks, the whole news group were central to the phone hacking palaver. So I absolutely want to know what was said in that meeting, especially their meeting with the Prime Minister. What are they whipping up? New propaganda plans? The idea that any meeting with employees of Murdoch's business would be informal and without an agenda is incredible. According to Tom Brake, former Liberal MP and Unlock Democracy Director, you don't have to believe that Succession is an accurate representation of the way the Murdoch empire works to know that informal meetings can provide a cover for a multitude of business-related discussions. 4 minutes must be published so everyone knows what these top-level conversations were really about. The government also failed to record the minutes of 3 other meetings with senior right-wing media figures. This included a meeting between Home Security Suella Braverman and this. So this is the one who was laughing and smiling because she thought that the refugee camps in Rwanda looked really nice. And the Sun's political editor Harry Cole on October 4th, less than a month after she entered the role. The Department of Culture, Media and Sport, the department responsible for press regulation, also failed to record the minutes of meetings held by the then DCMS Secretary Michelle Donlan with the Daily Mail and the Telegraph on the 23rd of November and the 19th of December, respectively. Nathan Sparks, chief executive of the Hacked Off campaign group, said the lack of transparency over meetings like this allows press bosses to lobby the government on policy affecting the national newspaper industry and anything else in near total secrecy. This government has a long and undignified history of warping legislation to satisfy the interests of national newspapers, while the titles to benefit serve up positive coverage of the administration and attacks on its political opponents. Indeed, if News UK was serious about public interest journalism, it would publish the minutes of these meetings and report on any government attempt to lobby for better coverage openly, with all due scrutiny in the pages of its newspapers. The Cabinet Office and News UK did not respond to requests for government. So it goes on for a little bit longer. I won't read the whole thing. I'll just post the link. But it's just truly disgraceful. And it just shows the web of deception that these people weave. They are all in bed with each other. And it just makes me respect Harry even more. Because this is what they're up against. Oi, Wendy, Piers is protected by the monarchy and his corrupt friends in government. Oi. I think what's gonna go down in the end is either the royal family tries to throw the press under the bus, but the press is more powerful, so they end up throwing the royals under the bus, which has been one of my predictions for a while now. If it becomes more profitable to put out the royals' deepest, darkest secrets than it is to protect them, then the press will do that. They care about the bottom line and they're going to save themselves. It's going to get messy, folks. And with that, I'm done. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming as usual. You are all amazing. And yes, Wendy, the UK is in bed. The UK government is in bed with these vipers. They're in bed with each other. Vipers, scorpions, snakes, and lizards. Wasps and bees. Yes, Janine, corruption starting from the bottom to the top. But at least it's all coming out and we're building our own platforms and keeping receipts, putting out receipts. And I hope that more people can find, my platform, Baron's platform, share it around. Like when you're done watching the video, just share it to your Twitter, share it to your Facebook, share it to your Instagram stories so that people can actually find our platforms and get another point of view. However, I do think with this whole Piers Morgan debacle, you're going to see more of a turning of the tide. And with that, I will end the podcast. Have fun at Barron's, folks, and I will see you tomorrow. Ciao. Oh, yes, Lauren Brown, you're too late. And I'm so sorry. I am absolutely going to respond to your email at some point this week. I'm so sorry. My answer to your question in your email is yes, by the way. I'm just sorry that I have not had the time just with everything going on, but I will respond to you. I'm so sorry, darling. All right. See you tomorrow, folks. Ciao.
Baby girl, you're so fine. I can't get you off my mind. Ooh girl, nah nah. Ooh girl, nah nah. Baby girl, don't need to flex. Dance to the rhythm and you do all the rest. Ooh girl, nah nah. Ooh girl, nah nah. Fly me up with dreams, the only thing I need. When I'm down, lift me up with your company. There's no telling what you and me creating. We're on the same wavelength. Feel the beat tonight, something good inside. Set you free, let you lose all track of time. Come on, have a conversation. Don't treat me like a stranger. You give me motivation, make my life vacation. When we are together, I surrender. Give you all my money, make you look so lovely. Never feeling lonely. Baby girl, you're so fine. I can't get you off my mind. Ooh girl, nah nah. Ooh girl, nah nah. Baby girl, don't need to flex. Dance to the rhythm and you do all the rest. Ooh girl, nah nah. Ooh girl, nah nah. You're my island, tray of diamonds. Big what's fake, help me find you. You're a blessing, reminiscent of the time when I found myself guessing. Feel the beat tonight, something good inside. Set you free, let you lose all track of time. Come on, have a conversation. Don't treat me like a stranger. You give me motivation, make my life vacation. When we are together, I surrender. Give you all my money, make you look so lovely. Never feeling lonely. Baby girl, you're so fine. I can't get you off my mind. Ooh girl, nah nah. Ooh girl, nah nah. Baby girl, don't need to flex. Dance to the rhythm and you do all the rest. Ooh girl, nah nah. Ooh girl, nah nah.
But don't worry, unlike Lionel, I won't go on all night long.